back with more sex education. This is episode 4 of season 2. We're about to reach the halfway point of this season, and we've had a lot of big kind of stories kick off. I think particularly in the last episode where they, had a lot going on with Amy in particular, and there was a lot of tension between Otis and Jean and Ola, Jakob, all of that going on as well. And we also had Adam's back in town, and he saw Eric, and I think his name is Raheem. Did I write that down somewhere? Yes. He saw them together, so that's going to cause some more tension, I'm sure, as well. So it's all set to kick off, I think, in a very dramatic fashion as we kind of reach the halfway point of this season. But I'm really enjoying it as ever. They're tackling some really important issues that I think are going to be quite something to watch unfold during the rest of the season. So yeah. I also think, is this the first reaction I filmed since they announced the start of season 3? That's coming on 17th of September, I believe. Now the plan is, based on how long it normally takes me to watch an episode and get it out and everything, in an ideal world I'll probably wrap up season 2 just in time for season 3 to come out, and then I can just keep the schedule going, and it's like I didn't really take a break at all, which would be great fun. So I'm not, I'll still take my time with season 3. I'm not going to just binge it all in a couple of days or anything, get all the reactions out. I still want to keep it relatively, spread out, if you pardon the pun. So that's going to be how hopefully it will unfold. If not, I will be getting to season 3 as soon as possible when it comes out, because my birthday's the 19th, so it comes out a couple of days before my birthday, so I might be a bit busy around that time anyway, and I can't, get to season 3 right away, but we'll have to wait and see. But I thought I'd just bring it up since we do have a start date for the season now, which is very exciting, and I do aim at the very least to have finished season 2 by that point. I think it should be fairly easy to do, but you never know, life can get in the way, so we'll see. But regardless, very excited to see how the rest of this season's going to unfold, so let's get into it.
Maybe we should go all the way.
Yeah?
Oh.
It's kind of a big step.
I think I'm ready.
You sure?
Is he? Honeymoon phase is over, isn't it?
See you.
He seems to have gotten very comfortable here very fast, which may not be very good.
Can we cut the errand shit? It's Mum.
You have to earn that, I'm afraid.
Oh, these are important. Dickhead. Don't call your sister a dickhead. She's 3. Half sister. What are they for? None of your business?
You can be a dickhead when you're 3. Oh, bless her.
It's just a bus.
That's so awful. Oh, I feel so bad.
Kind of thought I'd be in love with the person I lost my virginity to. We haven't said that yet.
Oh.
You can laugh if you want.
I don't believe you want to have sex with him at all. Jackson, you're a terrible actor.
I don't think you're supposed to talk to us like that.
I'm not a teacher.
Am I really going to die sleeping next to a man who hasn't touched me properly in nearly 6 years?
Why didn't you say anything?
We don't really hang out anymore, Otis, because you're always with your girlfriends.
Well, you could have told me.
It's fine. Don't be late for the appointment.
Oh, man.
I'm here to help you with English or maths, not turn you into Olivier.
Who's Olivier? I'm Romeo.
See you in a bit, Beth.
See you in a bit. Bex.
Did he just call you Beth?
That's Dex. He's on the quiz team.
Vivian Odysseia has a crush.
Yeah.
No, I don't. That was normal.
I really like her, she's funny.
Hi.
Nice bow tie. I can take it, yeah. I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
You'll be fine.
man.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks.
It's gonna get in the way somehow, and then Ola's gonna
Okay.
have a complex about me. But no.
I'm Ola.
Someone else for him to feel inferior about.
He's kind of dating Eric. They're so cute together, it's ridiculous.
Ah.
It was nice to meet you, Adam.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
Door. Head over to the hotel. See how this.
Would you like to stay for dinner?
I need a drink.
Mood.
See.
Correct. Quite the one-woman team you've got there, guys. Next question. What
She gets it right.
Highest mountain?
Coming over indeed.
I'll see.
Oh no!
Elsie?
Ironically, he can't LC her anywhere.
Final question. So the Moordale quiz heads have won it by a hair with 68
Whew.
points.
We don't want Maeve on our team. She doesn't know how to collaborate as a group, and we nearly lost.
But we won. Is this how you feel too, Steve?
Oh dear.
Nice.
I mean, he's in an awkward situation, I suppose, with Amy.
Don't want to be in a stupid quizzy Mayway.
I told you I can't look after kids.
Oh, sorry, am I keeping you for something really important?
Go then. Pissed off.
Oh god. What a mess.
Why do you keep yelling at me?
Because everyone always lets me down.
Sorry.
Aha! Oh, she's eating his supply. Oh, she sniffed those out, that's impressive.
There was this moment last time where I thought maybe you liked me,
Oh shit, oh shit!
and I liked you back.
Oh! Oh!
And I got scared, so I didn't tell you how I felt.
That's not fair. I liked you. I really liked you. I fucking turned myself inside out.
God! No.
Yes. Of course I did.
I've got to go.
Oh my god, I want to jump off a cliff.
Bye.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
Oh, go on. Just a tickle.
No.
For old time's sake.
I fear where this is going. I really fear where this is going now. Oh no.
Sorry. Sorry.
Are you kidding me?
Sorry.
Who was it from?
My mum.
Mum, yeah. Oh dear, well.
Just go.
Oh man. I really feel for her, because like, she's done nothing wrong at all. Ugh, life is pain. I hate it.
How long are you going to punish me for? I'm here, aren't I?
Yeah. I'm just waiting for you to flake on me again.
You've changed.
I don't like this at all. Go away.
Still.
No. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, there's so much drama going on. Ah.
Come on, Maureen. I'm not 23 anymore.
Oh, man.
You should probably take that off. Okay. This is how I die.
I was just so cold.
Oh, love, don't you dare apologise. You should be ashamed of yourself.
She thought he was stealing it. And he probably was. I was wondering why they'd been introduced, but clearly to be a shit. Maybe she wondered like what ventures he's gone on to like find this place and like work out he could do all this here. Symbolism.
No, that was great.
So this is kind of sad because they could have had this time if he hadn't been sent away. But also, we have Raheem, so
I know you hate it at home, but I'm kind of glad you're back.
I'm glad I'm back too.
oh. Okay, how's that going to come back that he's keeping that? Oh boy. Oh, he's got a bit of happiness. But, oh god, it's everything is such a mess. Oh no.
This is so cool. Thank you.
Oh.
It's avocado. I like it on toast.
Oh no. Gonna get Jackson's help.
I'll teach you how to deliver a soliloquy if you teach me how to get Judex.
Did you just say get you?
Sounded better in my head. just help me make him.
I love that she's showing a vulnerable side to him as well.
I don't want to have sex at all. Ever with anyone.
Oh.
I think I might be broken.
Aw.
Okay.
Maybe asexual.
Do you know what asexuality is?
Mm.
It's when someone has no sexual attraction to any sex or gender. Sex doesn't make us whole. And so, how could you ever be broken?
Aw.
Thank you. Anytime.
She's so much better than sex kid. I've decided that I don't want you to see Maeve anymore. If you want to be my boyfriend, then you have to talk to her and tell her that you can't be friends with her.
Oh man. It's the thing from Friends all over again.
I was thinking that maybe you want to be my boyfriend.
Oh heck.
No pressure, okay? You think about it.
Oh man. Okay, another fantastic episode. It felt very dramatic, like even more so than usual. Like so much stuff was kicking off in this one. Loads of different stories kind of being focused on, and so much going on that, you know, the big kind of Amy story from like the last episode. We got like one scene about it, and then that was it. Which I think very much speaks to everyone's, you know, got their own thing going on. They may not be fully aware of how much Amy's affected by what happened to her. She still kind of can't bring herself to get on a bus. So it's interesting that they kind of, I assume it was a purposeful choice to not really focus much on that story in this episode. Because it is kind of one of those sad real life things, I suppose, that you are not fully aware of, like some battles that people are kind of fighting. So I think actually structurally, in terms of like the episode, I mean what it focused on, that actually does work well, as long as, you know, that's not how that storyline's continually treated going forward, which, you know, I have 1000% faith in the writing of this show that that's not going to be the case. So that's what makes me think, well, this is obviously a very purposeful thing to not focus, you know, not dedicate a huge amount of time on Amy's story again for another episode in a row, after things were quite heavy in the last one. But we can still see she's kind of silently struggling, because everyone else is busy doing their own thing. You know, Maeve got caught up with a lot with her mum, with Otis and everything, the quiz, and Steve was also caught up in the quiz thing as well. You know, Amy's not really had an outlet, it would seem, and I'm not sure she, you know, wants to tell it, you know, really talk about it with anyone, and how she's still affected by it yet. But I'm sure that's something that they will explore in the next half of this season. But it is, you know, really sad to see that she is still kind of struggling with that, and it should be interesting to see where that goes. But that was just one of many things they were kind of talking about. I think her name was Florence, the girl who's playing Juliet, alongside Jackson. I really enjoyed her story, and it's cool to see some like asexuality kind of showcased and represented in the media like this, because obviously that's not something that really gets a lot of screen time in a lot of shows. You know, it's not really represented all that much. So I really like that this show has done that with her story, and because needs to be so much drama, I guess, because whenever there's a TV show or even book series, any movies, anything, you know, such a big part of it often, more often than not, and a big part of all the drama behind it is like, oh, who's going to get with who's going to fall in love with who's dating who. It's always like the big romance thing. And because sex sells, I suppose. So I like that they gave this story the time of day, and it explored someone who still wants relationships and wants to be with someone ultimately, but they may not be interested in sex. I really like that because that is still part of like the sex education. Some people aren't going to be interested in it. So I really like that they gave a very unrepresented kind of sexuality that time of day. So that was really cool to see that as well, and the fact that it's also a very realistic thing that Otis wouldn't have had much of an idea about asexuality, and he hasn't studied it in depth or anything like Jean has had like all this full training and studying in it, so she could handle that situation with Florence a lot better and actually understand what Florence is kind of going through and explaining it to her, making it very clear. So that was all very well done, and it also ties into the kind of a bigger thing storyline wise with Jean stealing Otis and Maeve's clients. So that's gonna, I think, still come to a head as well, especially when Jean overheard someone say, oh, Sex Kid's advice was rubbish or something, or she's so much better than Sex Kid. So I think she's going to be wondering who the hell that is, and ultimately we'll find out that it's Otis. So that's going to cause some tension as well. So that was really interesting to see that cool representation. I liked that a lot. What else? I'm just trying to do kind of the bit stories first before we talk about a lot of the big stuff. What else do we have? I guess Jackson and Vivian, their little thing, the little deal that they've made. I love that dynamic. I think it's really cool. I've always liked it when they've had like a really popular guy at the school not only get interested in uncool activities like the school play or something, because I'm glad that they broke the stereotype on that and actually showed that people can have interests in whatever the hell they want, even if they're perceived to be, a jock or cool or popular, So I really like that to start off with, but to then see, the cool popular guy actually befriend and have a really good rapport with someone who maybe isn't as popular and doesn't have as many friends. I always really love when they do that. Because it happens. I've seen it happen at my school, people you would not expect to get along so well and be friends and stuff. It happens. So I like that the show also does continue to do that and throw some really unexpected pairings at you. And I think Jackson and Vivian are a prime example of that. I really, really like their dynamic, and I think that's just gonna, grow and deepen, I think, as they spend more time kind of helping each other out. So they've already showcased how good she was for Jackson in terms of like getting his audition ready and learning how to say soliloquies and stuff like that. And now she's going to help him through the entire show, I guess, to make him be the best he can be, which I love. And in return, he's going to try and help her get with the little shit from Game of Thrones, which obviously isn't a reflection of the actor, that his character was a little shit in the show, because it's true. But a lot of Game of Thrones characters are terrible people. So it's cool to see that really vulnerable side to her, because she's been very headstrong, very self-confident whenever we've kind of spent time with Vivian. So to see her like have a little crush and be a bit vulnerable like that was really nice, especially because Jackson, I think, can be seen as a very confident person on the outside, like when he sang to Maeve in season 1 in front of everyone, gathered everyone together to watch it, but we as an audience know he struggles with anxiety a lot as well. So I think that just makes that pairing really, really work, and I can't wait to see how they, and if they can, help each other out in that way. But it's such a lovely little bond those two have, that I hope we get a bit more of. But it was great to see another layer to Vivian that we hadn't seen previously. And yeah, her and Jackson, I think they bounce off each other really nicely. So I love the energy that their scenes have. And then Adam and Eric, I guess we can talk about that story, and Raheem asking Eric if they want to be like boyfriends. That's going to be awkward because they've just had that nice moment. I don't know. So I do feel like Raheem really kind of forced himself, not entirely, but he really kind of he wouldn't, leave Eric alone really until he's like, let's go on the date. And clearly Eric does, must reciprocate at least some fondness for Raheem. And those two are kind of a nice pair now. But alongside that, Adam's just got back. He's insecure about a lot of things about himself. I think he has a huge inferiority complex. That's basically his dad's fault. And on top of that, he has Ola's employee of the month. So that was even his job, he can't really escape from maybe feeling inferior about things. And the one outlet he has positively about being home and not feeling bad about himself, I guess, is when he hangs out with Eric. And I really liked that he's just again, I guess, forced the situations of not throwing stones at a window and saying, follow me, and not explaining exactly where he was going. But that shows a lot of trust as well that Eric has in Adam, because he still went with him. They had a really nice kind of hanging out thing, and it was cool to see Adam open up to someone and not be afraid to be like, oh yeah, I'll show you this, this moves that we learned at the military school and everything. And I think in any other situation with anyone else, he'd be like, oh, screw you, I'm not showing you that, fuck off. He'd be too embarrassed, but he's very comfortable with Eric to kind of do all that, and they just have, a kind of nice relationship considering how it was first shown in the show, how much that's changed, and that they have that genuine fondness. And after they kissed and Adam went home, he seemed like really happy, and now that's going to be completely destroyed because Eric and Raheem might be getting, officially together, which is, love triangles, ugh, they're messy, and I'm not normally a big fan of them, but yeah, we'll see what happens with that, because I think I'd prefer Eric and Adam together, but also, Adam was horrible to Eric for a time. Raheem's always been nice, maybe a bit like, whoa, okay, very forced a presence, but, he's never been verbally or physically abusive, which is nice. But also Adam's changed a lot, and he was obviously going through a lot of shit in his own mind and angry at himself. It's a complicated thing, and at the end of the day, it's going to come down to Eric's decision and what he wants. And I feel like the chemistry is probably more so there with Adam than Raheem, personally. I don't know how things may play out and what other people do kind of prefer, but we're going to have to wait and see, I suppose, where that all plays out. But I like that they are giving, I think, a decent chunk to maybe both sides of that love triangle. And it's just going to be all on Eric's shoulders, I guess, going forward to see how they explore that. So I like the scenes we were getting with them, and just seeing Adam be able to be comfortable with someone and actually, have that moment of happiness. And he's actually back to be home, even if it's awful for him, because it means he gets to see Eric, which is kind of wholesome. So I guess we'll see how that gets explored in future as well. Then we have, I think her name's Maureen, Adam's mum, who's married to Headmaster Jerk. I feel so bad for her. They've shown that she's very unhappy in her marriage, and I like that, she was afraid to really open up to Jean about it, and I think it was the last episode, but in this one, she did kind of sit down and was open about it. I like that Jean could sense something was wrong, but back then she didn't force it. When another opportunity arose, she was like, are you sure there's nothing you want to talk to me about? I really like that, and it caused her to open up, and I guess there's kind of that inferiority complex that she's also developed, just like her son does. So I think there's a common denominator there in a certain Mr. Headmaster dickhead. And my heart breaks for her, and she's still trying to be spontaneous and get that flirtatious side back, get that sexier side in their relationship back. And he was just like, get changed, what are you doing? Just, making it a bit embarrassing for her. So I think, she just needs to be like, well, screw you, I'm going to be with someone who actually gives a shit. So my heart kind of breaks for her a bit, and I love that they are giving her a lot of focus when she was kind of basically voiceless in season 1. I like that they are giving her an actual story, and I'm hoping it's going to build to her, finding herself again a bit more, because she seems to have been the life's been sucked out of her, I guess, by this marriage that she's been in 6 years without him touching her or anything. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that gets explored further as well. But it's cool to see Maureen get a story, and my heart really does break for her. I think the actress is doing a really great job with that. And then the whole Jean and Remy and Jacob situation. It's a hot mess, granted. And I think they've kind of shown with Jean and Jacob the honeymoon phase is over. They've said multiple times maybe Jean's not necessarily a relationship person. And I think that was being hit home quite early on. She seems kind of a bit fed up with Jacob in a way, and that kind of makes me sad how into that couple I was in season 1, and now I'm a bit like, oh, it's a bit like, oh dear. But again, that can happen. That is kind of life. Sometimes the getting together is really exciting, and the first few weeks you're together is really great, and then you're like, well, I feel like we've actually burnt ourselves out a bit here. So I don't know if that's where that's going, especially because she obviously then, drunkenly, yes, but she still kissed her ex, who is just a jackass. The actor does such a good job, so I can't stand that guy. And yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that, and hopefully she's just honest about it. I'm not a big fan of cheating storylines and everything. I think it's so overdone, and I just personally hate it anyway. Much more interesting ways of causing trouble for couples than just having one of them cheat. But I am intrigued to see it again. I have a lot of faith in the writing and stuff, that they can do something interesting with it, and maybe it's just a commentary that maybe some relationships just very quickly, the spark dies out, or it's just commentary on the fact that Jacob was really making himself comfortable, maybe a bit too quickly for Jean's taste, and Jean maybe just isn't a relationship person after all. So there's a whole mess going on there. Again, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. There's just so many moments where, like the scene with Jean and Maureen, like I love Jean, how she handles that, and Jean and Florence as well. And then she's kissing Remy, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, all these characters are really complex, and they do things that you really love, but also you can hate them at the same time. So obviously the whole mess with Otis, Oliver and Maeve, everyone's kind of slipping up a bit there for the most part. Oliver didn't really do anything wrong and everything, but then I do think it's a bit much to say, you can't see Maeve anymore if you want us to be together. I'm not a huge fan of ultimatums like that. But if the trust isn't there, the trust isn't there. But also maybe you should have the trust there, because nothing has happened with Otis and Maeve. So there's that, and I love Vivian a lot. She's kind of very quickly becoming one of my absolute favourites. But there's also the bit where she was like, we don't want Maeve on our team anymore, we're kicking her off, which also broke my heart. And you're like, no, come on, what the hell are you doing? Maeve's great. But it speaks to the whole, how they handle the Amy storyline in this episode. Everyone has their own shit going on. So how do we expect, Vivian and Steve and, is it Dax, the other guy? How do we expect them to know what Maeve's going on? What's going on in her life, all the different stuff with, her mum and everything. Which, again, could be another story that breaks our hearts. Because I don't know if the mum's just going to take off all over again and maybe leave, it began with L-E, didn't it? It's like Ellie or something, the daughter. I don't know if she's going to leave her with Maeve and just sod off, or she'll just take her with her when she leaves, because they showed a bit of Maeve actually showing that she has this genuine care for her little sister as well, when she went missing. So I don't know if they're going to build up that and then suddenly it's all taken away from Maeve all over again, just like her brother kind of came back and then left her. And that was clearly getting to Maeve, and then she got kicked off the team seemingly, which is bullshit. Because yes, maybe she could have at least said, I think the answer's this, can I say it, instead of just outright going for it. But in the heat of the moment, and you're excited about it, you want to get the answer right if you're that confident. And she did get a lot of them right at the end of the day. It's a tricky thing. So she's got stuff going on that they may not have gotten, at least with Steve, he agreed with Vivian and co that he wanted Maeve off the team, but you could tell he was very reluctant to say that, and he felt really bad about it, because him and Maeve get on, and he's dating Maeve's best friend. So I like that there's just such complexity and layers to all these characters that you can get angry at them, like, oh, why are you doing that? Because they just don't understand certain things. But at the same time, when you see them like other characters and other pairings, you're like, oh my god, like, I adore you. It's like the Ola and what's her name, Lily. That I really like their kind of, I say friendship, but I think there was a little something going on at the end there. So I think maybe that's going to be the resolution to maybe the whole love triangle thing. If maybe Maeve and Otis do become a thing, I think Ola could potentially then be with Lily, maybe, because there's definitely a moment there of tension. And I think I'd kind of be here for that pairing, but we need to explore it a bit more first and at least resolve this whole business, because I do feel bad for Ola, because she's not really done anything wrong until she was like, can't be friends with Maeve anymore. It's just, you know, an unfortunate thing, I guess, in that Ola wasn't always at the school, and you know, Otis and Maeve kind of had a thing going for a time, and they had a lot of time together to build up a rapport. And I do think Otis, you know, likes Maeve very much still, and we saw Maeve very much still likes Otis in return. And that scene where she tells him, oh my god, I want to yeet myself into the sun. Again, very poor timing, and you're like, oh Maeve, why now? Why now? Of all the times, why now? But she doesn't know that Otis is on his way to potentially have his first time with Ola, and that's going to muck everything up. And she didn't know she was texting him, you know, in the middle of them getting it on, nearly, and everything with that. It's just such a complex set of situations with everyone going on. So we'll see how it all gets handled. I do feel like we're at the beginning of the end of Otis and Ola, for sure. Especially if they're starting to maybe hint on like an Ola and Lily thing. But yeah, it's... oh god. It's all very weird and messy and dramatic, and we still have half the season left, and I still feel like so much has happened. And there's still so many storylines to like explore, I think. Even like Jackson's anxiety and everything, I think they must go back to that at some point, and the fact that, you know, he, you know, hurt himself to get out of swimming purposefully. That's got to be re-explored at some point, I'm sure, as well. There's just a lot going on. Bloody teenagers, bloody horny teenagers, causing all this ruckus. It's quite a mess, but I look forward to seeing how it all gets advanced. Like, I wasn't expecting Maeve to confess her feelings for Otis this early. I thought that could be like an end of season thing, if anything. So that's crazy, like where this could go now. A lot of stuff is happening. I like that they don't drag out some big moments until like the finale of the season or anything. You know, things do happen at a really decent pace, and I think that's why the show is so easy to watch and so bingeable. I wish I could binge it, but I wouldn't be able to react to it if I binged it. So I will take that, because it's a incredibly, you know, interesting and profound and relevant exploration of characters and storylines and stuff like that. We'll just have to see where they go with it. My camera is telling me it's about to die, so I need to leave it there. But fantastic episode. Really enjoyed everything they had going on. How they're structuring the storylines this season, I think, is very clever. Some huge moments, like Maeve telling Otis how she feels. Everything going on with that, and some cool setup for more stories going forward. It's just, this is, I think, one of the best examples of how complex the characters are at this point and how well written they are, because you can like kiss them and strangle them sometimes within the same scene, but you still kind of, you know, want them to be okay and be happy. I feel that way about a lot of characters in this episode, which just shows how well acted they are and how well written they are. So as always, the show continues to be incredible, and I look forward to how the second half of the season goes down. But if it's anything like the first, I think somehow I'm going to love this season even more than season one. Season one was impeccable as it was. So yeah, we'll see how it all goes. But amazing episode. Can't wait for more. And until my next reaction, thanks for watching.